Hello, this is Bob Fergus here with the HTFRA television network. We are here at the Homestead-Miami Speedway for the first of 3 races that will involve tiebreaker situations. This race is for 21st in points between Matt Richards and Ryan Acosta. If you're wondering why I am sounding very quiet and you're going to want to crank up your speakers, it is because I'm filming this race at my grandma's house in Michigan. She gave me permission to do this at night as long as I'm extra quiet, so that is the deal right there. So sorry if you can barely hear me. Anyway, the twist is we are holding it on the Homestead road course to make it a lot easier for not only Fraps to record this race, but for the fact that I want to make it very interesting, considering the fact we only have, for the first 2 races, 6 cars in the field. The battle between Bill Raymond and Red Bell will be a 10-car race, and again, it will be held on the road course. Anyway, starting on pole is Eric Burton. To his outside is Bob Marshall. If in this situation for the first tiebreaker race, which is for 21st in points between Ryan Acosta and Matt Richards, if Ryan wins this race or any of his teammates, then Ryan keeps 21st and Matt will fall down to 22nd. If Matt, however, wins this race and any of his teammates do, then Matt will get to keep his position 21st and Ryan will drop down to 22nd. Without further ado, let's get to the action. Here we go. 6 cars. It's a great race here today. The crowd is on their feet. We're waiting for the flagman to wave his flag, and there it is. We are underway for 7 laps here at Homestead. Eric Burton takes the lead. Here comes Bob Marshall. These drivers, you cannot go wide. One mistake and you're asking for it. From our overhead views, right now as we enter the first of 2 back stretches, that's a weather bug update, if you guys are wondering. Bob Marshall right now, he's trying to tailgate Eric Burton for that lead position right now. And right now they're going to enter the stock car backstretch, or we'll refer to it as the NASCAR backstretch because IndyCar does not race here anymore. As we enter the oval, and there's Bob Marshall in second. Ryan Acosta hoping his teammate Bob can take that position away from Eric, because if Eric were to win this race, Matt Richards would keep himself 21st in points, and Ryan would have to drop down to 22nd in the final standings. So here is our scoring pylon right now. If you're hearing noise in the background, I apologize for that. Eric Burton is still your leader. Some drivers are still getting into the grass, but not much to worry about. And still he's holding on to that lead. Drivers are slip sliding going down into the second backstretch. And here's the NASCAR backstretch, as they will enter once again. You know, basically when people see stock car racing in a road course, they think of watching a V8 supercar race, a Dunlop race, a Kumho Tires race, or here in the United States, the Continental Tire Series, since Speed in their promos dub it as stock car road race, or stock car racing on a road course at its best, or something like that. But that's for those of you in the States and Canada that get those Continental Tire promos for the Grand Am Rolex Sports Car Series' feeder series. And we're actually racing on the Grand Am version of the course, not the full course itself. This is the modified course where NASCAR's turn 3 and 4 are in use. And Eric Burton is still holding on to that lead. And Bob Marshall still holding on to second. And Bob Marshall had 2 poles in Winter Heat this season. He had a win in Road America, Road America was dubbed by Winter Heat fans and drivers as the worst race ever scheduled. The only thing that fans actually found exciting was when Josh Johnson blew his engine, and for those receiving the broadcast itself, hearing my buddy Maddie commentate the race, and I expect her to help me out in future races. Well, I actually don't expect her. She can choose for herself. I am not going to force her herself, as me and her will decide what we want to do and what we don't want to do. But speaking of wants and not wanting, Ryan Acosta is wanting his teammate Bob Marshall to cooperate right now. He forces him off course. Ryan Acosta has been forced off course by Bob Marshall, his teammate. This race is done. This looks like this race could be over for Ryan Acosta. His own teammate punted him off the track. Let's take a look and see how this unfolded. Well, I didn't mean to accuse Bob Marshall for being a bad driver in this one little instance, but it looks like he got a little too deep and sent his own teammate into the wall. His teammate nowhere to go. It looks like Ryan Acosta and his teammates are going to be kissing their hopes goodbye for seeing their teammate Ryan keep 21st in points, as it looks like this race will now belong to Matt Richards. Back here with the racing action right now, looks like this race does belong to Eric Burton. He's going to win this race, and Matt Richards is going to take that championship. He is currently sitting 5th. Well, the championship for 21st position, that is. Matt's brother, Jack, won the championship himself. There he is. There's Matt Richards. Happy day for GoDaddy.com, knowing that their driver Jack has won the championship, and Matt is going to take 21st in points, considering the fact that the interval between Eric Burton and Bob Marshall has increased. Right now, it's at minus 1.21 between himself and the leader, Eric. And it looks like Eric Burton, as we come to the white flag lap, is going to win this race, unless in the event he overcorrects himself going into the infield road course. And so far he has taken it nice and easy. Bear in mind, race 2 will be up sometime within the upcoming week, or possibly next week, depending on feedback. But I will make sure to get it in before I talk to Sean Galligan on Skype, if he's in the mood, about how we want to work out the 4 races of Hartlepool, since he seems to be the only other person interested in helping me out. But right now, for the final time, they will leave the infield road course as part of this racing action and come down the NASCAR oval. And here they are, diving down to turn 3. Eric Burton is going to win this race, and Matt Richards is going to win the 21st place position in the standings. And there's Matt right there. He knows very well that he has taken 21st away from Ryan Acosta. Ryan will now drop down to 22nd. Well, that's going to do it for us. Stay tuned for the races 2 and 3 of the points paying battles here in the Menards Winter Heat Tour. Until we meet again, I'm Bob Fergus, signing off.